By 2033, the worth of the gacha market is projected to exceed $998.2 million with no signs of stopping. While numerous studies exist about the inherently predatory financial behavior of gacha games, less research has been done on how images are used to serve the cycle of financial exploitation, including whaling. This video analyzes the pull sequence animation in the otome gacha game Tears of Themis to examine how visual culture contributes to the valorization of unhealthy spending habits. Using a frame-by-frame breakdown of the sequence, this project investigates how the desire to pull on a gacha banner is constructed through color, motion, pacing, sound, and symbolic cues. We will be applying 3 frameworks for studying these frames and explain how they work together to provide a play experience that encourages people to spend their time and money on gacha games. Before we take a look at the frameworks, let's get into what gacha games are. Gacha games are free to download, but they're more entertaining features. New characters, cards, or weapons are locked behind the game's gacha system. This experience revolves around pulls, also called spins, rolls, or draws. The action of spending in-game currency to receive these randomized rewards. In-game currency can be bought with real money cheaply, but these purchases add up over time. The addictive nature of these games causes many people to spend more than they initially budget for. Roland Barthes argues that every object is a language. He breaks this down into 2 parts: the signifier, the physical thing you see, like a red rose, and the signified, the mental concept, like romantic love that you understand it as. When you combine these, you get a myth, a hidden cultural message that feels natural but is actually constructed by society and culture. Guy Debord argued that modern life has moved from being to having, and finally to just appearing. The spectacle is a social relationship between people that is mediated by images. We feel closer to digital avatars than real people, and we express our identity through the digital images we buy and collect. This is the core of the spectacle. Martin J. describes different regimes or ways our eyes are trained to see. First, there is Cartesian perspectivalism. This is the rationale, static, God's eye view, like a map or a clean menu screen, where information is presented to the viewer. And then there is the Baroque vision, the madness of vision, chaos, and spectacle. It is full of motion, overwhelms the senses, and is exciting. Tears of Themis, MiHoYo's first otome video game, was released in 2020 and has a small, insular fanbase. Its gacha animation sequence has changed very little since then and is our object of study for this video. Let's take a look at it before we dissect it for the rest of this video.
"それだけは永遠に変わらないよ."
The interface surrounds the character with a rigid, mathematical overlay. This is Martin J.'s Cartesian perspectivalism in action. The card artwork itself is emotional and chaotic, but the menu is a rational window frame that shows us important data. The currency counters at the top, the countdown timer, the probability percentages, and the Clear 10 Visions button at the bottom. This geometric grid separates us, the viewer, from the object of our desire. The doves are pseudo-nature. They are organic living things simulated by a machine. Debord would argue that the spectacle often tries to disguise its artificiality by co-opting images of nature. The birds function as a wipe, a visual trick to hide the loading screen or the algorithm's calculation. The birds fly across the screen, breaking the frame. If the Cartesian view is a static grid, the menu. The birds represent the Baroque intrusion of movement and chaos. They shatter the boring menu screen to prepare your eyes for the exciting experience of the gacha. The statue of Themis, which players already know functions as the diegetic anchor that grounds the spectacle in the game's universe. Diegetic means the element exists within the story world, because Themis is on the app's splash screen and is the namesake of the game. Seeing her statue immediately reminds the player that this pole is relevant to the central storyline and the game's purpose even if it's not. In D-Board's terms, the dazzling animation is the spectacle, but the Themis statue is the anchor that links that expensive visual spectacle back to the Tears of Themis brand. It reaffirms the game's brand and guarantees the emotional significance of the card. In Bart's view, the signifier is the statue of Themis, a familiar, branded logo, and the signified branding shows that the gacha pull is high value and important to the story. Again, the devs show up to wipe the screen in a Baroque moment of overwhelming the vision and shattering expectations. Now we hit the core myth of the Tears of Themis brand. That single tear running down her cheek is the ultimate thematic anchor. The currency you just spent on this pull is called Tears, and the game is called Tears of Themis. The animation literally mythologizes your transaction. If you get a high rarity card, that tear explodes into a rainbow prism. The color is the ultimate signifier of value. The spectacle climaxes here by linking a pure, dramatic emotion to the success of getting an SSR. The scene is dominated by a dizzying prism effect and light refraction. The eye is meant to be dazzled. As the tear detaches and falls, we get the ultimate expression of Jay's Baroque vision. The static, geometric world of the menu is completely gone. The camera perspective is now disembodied and dizzying, following the tear as it plunges through an undefined, abstract space. This isn't a rational, mapped view. It's a confusing, kinetic plunge designed to emotionally disarm us before the SSR card is revealed. The tear is a symbol of the Tears of Themis world, and following it down means we are officially leaving the real world and joining a new space where it's just us and the gacha. The floating cubes are a perfect semiotic system that uses light to instantly signal value. The signifier is simple: yellow light inside the orb. The myth is that this light means winning. Also, the rainbow light works with the earlier prism effect on the tear. The rainbow light is the signifier of the SSR rarity. This scene is a visual tug-of-war between two scopic regimes. The Baroque is in the dazzling colors and the abstract, infinite space. But the Cartesian structure returns with the cubes themselves. The cubes represent quantifiable data. There are exactly 10 of them, one for each vision. The viewer is given a rational structure of the cubes, but is distracted by the non-rational chaotic light, the yellow and rainbow flash that confirms the result and makes it a spectacle. Right before the card reveals, the screen goes completely white. This is the final, most extreme maneuver of the Baroque regime. The flash of pure white light creates a momentary tabula rasa blank slate. It blinds the viewer, clearing the visual palette and wiping away all rational thought or previous images. The card flip is the simplest form of semiology. The back side of the card is the signifier of anticipation. The front is the signified, which in this case is the character. The quick, decisive flip gives the player an instant visual confirmation of the sign. Is it a Luke card, a Vin card? This rapid-fire reveal reinforces the addictive pleasure of finding out what the results are. The loud, resonant gong is a Baroque sonic shock. It is designed to be tactile and overwhelming, jarring the player's senses after the visual flash and making them excited for what is coming, which also ties into spectacle. The serpent symbol, Marius's signature Ouroboros, is a diegetic anchor. It serves as the ultimate semiotic shorthand. The signifier is a stylized snake. The signified myth for players is Marius von Hagen himself. The game instantly confirms the SSR belongs to the specific character the player desires, fulfilling the myth.
それだけは永遠に変わらないよ。
The spectacle uses the character's voice to create a pseudo-social relationship with the consumer. The character's image, the silhouette, delivers a highly personalized, emotional guarantee to the viewer, despite the interaction being purely commercial and digital. The silhouette, partially obscured by the text and light, is an aesthetic choice characteristic of the Baroque. It favors obscurity and mystery over Cartesian clarity. The lack of distinct detail makes the image more dramatic, forcing the viewer to fill in the blanks before the final, detailed card art is revealed. This part of the sequence begins by starting on a close-up of the character's hand and various background pieces, yet not the character himself. This forces a Baroque tactile focus, where the character is hidden, building a sort of anticipation that D-Board mentions. It basically deliberately delays gratification by only showing small, tantalizing parts to make the process feel more valuable than if it was displayed immediately. Then, as the view pulls back, we see Marius more fully. So the image settles into a more Cartesian view, with the character neatly organized within the frame for our consumption. This shift reinforces the idea that the character is now ready to be cataloged and possessed. In Tears of Themis, all cards contain two main evolutions, one of which has to be unlocked by the character by leveling it up. After a white flash, the player is presented with a short teaser of this post-evolution scene. In this card particularly, the second shot is pure Baroque. The smoke, chaos, and general sense of danger elevates the moment into a cinematic experience that prevents this scene from feeling flat or sterile. Danger isn't always the sentiment portrayed though, as these cards vary depending on the event. But they always convey some sort of specific emotion, one that lets the player feel immersed. The rest of the sequence contains the remaining regular, uncommon cards that were obtained in this gacha pull. Each reveal is accompanied by its usual markers. For the ending of this gacha pull, the sequence provides an overview of all the cards we pulled in this draw. They follow a rough left-to-right order. This frame demonstrates the Cartesian perspective, where the player is returned to a familiar, orderly, grid-like view. In a way, it's like a homecoming. After all of this spectacle, like the tears, the prism, the shot of the goddess, this high-value GIF is the ultimate proof of purchase. It is a stunning, rich image that successfully mediates a social relationship between the player and character, or, in other words, the feeling of being reunited with Marius, along with the commercial transaction required to make this fated meeting come true. The gacha pull is a meticulously crafted theatrical experience, where all three frameworks collaborate to turn a transaction into a personal narrative that is supposed to feel unique to the player. Bart argues that the use of familiar anchors create a compelling myth that justifies emotional investment. Jay argues that the rationality of the Cartesian perspective and the disorientation of the Baroque spectacle serve as visual directors. And D-Board argues that the engineered spectacle harnesses all of these features to mediate a commercial relationship. This leaves us with the final question. If the game's emotional core is expertly constructed to mask the economic plans behind it, are we playing the game?